it's Raquel Bowman here, and today I'm here creating and sharing a new layout for Pink Paisley. The theme on the blog this week is family time, and so I'm documenting a new camper van trailer that we've bought as a family to be able to enjoy and spend some quality time together. So we found that, you know, life sometimes gets so busy, and my husband was spending a lot of time working and just getting into the everyday routines and not really having those little family getaways that we would love to have and create memories with our children. So we've purchased a camper trailer. The kids are super excited, and these are just some pictures when we picked it up, and I just want to document, you know, the beginnings of hopefully an awesome story that we can create together as a family. So these are the photos. I am going to try and reprint these a bit lighter because they've actually come out quite dark on my printer. So I'll hopefully have some sort of clearer pictures in a moment. I'm going to do that once I've finished this. The cut file I have is one from Paige Evans, and if I pop it against here you should be able to see it a lot better, and it's just like a little camper van with the tree on top, and I just thought that was really cute and sort of goes with that outdoorsy travel family type theme. So I'm going to back that cut file, and I've actually rediscovered a collection in my stash from Pink Paisley, and that's the Outfitters collection. I think when this was released I didn't have, although I created a couple of layouts of my husband and my son with it, I didn't have a specific reason, like something like purchasing this trailer or camper van that I could document it with. So when I was having a look through the collection and looking at the colours and looking at some of the sort of icons and things within there, I was thinking to myself, this is just perfect for documenting this new adventure that we're going to be going on. So I've grabbed the Outfitters collection. I've got the 12x12s as well. I am absolutely loving, and I love them when I first received them as well, the leather look badges. I just think they're amazing, and it's such a clever embellishment for Pink Paisley to have created. I've also got some ephemera pieces out, and some of the puffy stickers and the alphas. So there's a heap here to create with, but my aim for this layout is to document the story or the beginning for this page. So yeah, we'll get started and we'll see where this ends up.
So I get started by backing the tree. That was a nice easy shape to begin with on this cut file. So I've used that gorgeous green pattern paper in the 6x6 pad. Then I go off on a tangent and I decide just to see how I want the bottom of my layout. And I saw this sort of mountain look paper, and I thought maybe I can make that sort of look like the ground that the camper is traveling on. So I've grabbed out and I've just cut sort of along the line. It was sort of a furry, fluffy edge to the image in the pattern paper, but I've just cut it solidly. I haven't fussy cut out that edge. And I've popped that down the bottom of my layout, and then I go back and I keep going with the cut file. So I'm using some of that blue paper to go behind the windows. I used the paper that's below the white scrap paper that I'm using just so I don't get glue everywhere on the main portion of the camper. And then I'll bring in some of that gorgeous plaid design in this as well. Now I'm doing this voiceover after the fact of creating this layout, and I'm full up with a bit of a cold at the moment and a slight sort of touch of asthma symptoms from it as well. So I apologise if I sound snuffly or wheezy or whatever it might be. But I really wanted to get this voiceover completed for you, and uploaded, ready for Family Time Week on the blog. So in the backing of this cut file, I was even able to use the branding strips as well. So I've used for that little orange portion, just the branding strip of the paper that you see to the left there. When you back cut files, it's a great way to use up those scraps and those bits and pieces that maybe you have just popped into, if you've got a collection of products you've just popped into the bag. So I find that I always pull out those scraps of paper, pattern paper, when I am backing cut files, because I tend to be able to use them doing things like this, more intricate things like this. So I'm just adding the little headlights in there, and then I'll go and find a part of one of the papers to add the part for the wheels. I add some vellum behind a portion of where the window is as well. I think I do that off camera possibly. Here I'm just adding or tracing the circle for the wheel, and I use the pattern paper in a way that looks like it's got some of the cross running through it, which I like the look of that. So I'm going to adhere those down, and then I'm going to get into building the rest of the layout. This was probably the most time consuming part of the layout, as backing cut files always are. But you know, when you've done it at the end, the satisfaction that you get sometimes, it is just, it's worth all the effort when you see the finished product. So those people that stitch, oh my goodness, I take my hat off to them, because I'm here whinging about a small cut file, and those that stitch, that's hours of work that goes into those projects. So they amaze me. I admire it, that's for sure. So what I end up doing with the photos, I had printed the 4, so it was like when you print from a printer at home, or even when you go to a kiosk or wherever you go, you could choose that 4-up design, so you fit the 4 photos on the 4x6 size photo paper. So I did the 4, but then I end up actually just gluing over one of the photos and layering, because the photo was just a picture of like where the table was in, so the internal part of the camper trailer that we have, and I felt like 4 was too many, so I cut it down to the 3. So I've done that, and now I'm just going through all the ephemera bits and pieces from the Outfitters collection. There is so much in there, and some of them were just not really the wording that I wanted, or I made it suit my page. So the one that I've got coming off the side of the photos says road trip and then warrior in huge letters. And I'm like, I just want that little road trip, because that's our plan. That's what we want to do in purchasing this, is we want to have little road trips as a family, go away. You know, it might only be for 2 nights, but it's just creating memories for us and having a break from everyday life, you know, enjoying each other's company and building experiences for the kids. So road trip was perfect. I was trying to build some kind of a cluster above the tree there, and I found that Good Times leather look badge, and I loved it. I love the texture of them, I love the look of them, and they're just so unique. So I knew I wanted to add that, and I was trying to layer something behind it. I didn't want it sitting sort of isolated above the tree by itself. So I ended up finding a tag that had some of that red from the road trip ephemera piece that's to the left of the photo, and I just cut that portion off the tag and used that as sort of a layering piece. I've also added some detail stitching to the hill sort of road look that I have going on at the bottom, just for that textural sort of side to that piece. And now I'm not too far off finishing this layout and adding those finishing touches. So you can see up in the top right corner, I've got a little die cut. It says something along the lines of our happy place or something of that nature. And so I decide that I will build a sort of journaling area that's going to balance out the heaviness of the bottom of this layout. There's so much going on, and I find that now I'm creating layouts in this 8.5 by 11 inch size. I really need to be extra mindful of making sure my layouts are balanced, and it's a new sort of challenge for me because the size does, you know, impact on the balance of your layouts and the design ideas that I may have had in mind. So I'm adding my journaling, using my typewriter like I do every time. It's my favorite way to add my story to my pages. I don't really like my handwriting. I probably should attempt, but I know that I'm a slight perfectionist, if you haven't already noticed, and I don't think that I'd be happy with the finished product. I know that might sound silly to some, and I know that some people are really passionate about putting their own handwriting in on their pages, and I understand that and I respect that, but for me, as long as I'm getting my story down, then I'm happy. So typewritten for me is the way to go. I'm showing you some close-up images, so that means we're done. So I did add a little scattering of some enamel dots from my stash and that cute little heart puffy sticker, some stitching around the edge of the page, and that's it. So thank you so much for watching this video today. I hope that you've enjoyed it, and I'll definitely have more shares on my channel really soon. Bye everyone.